Hello and welcome to Mike Geddings, our past chamber chair, and Rob Youngblood, our newly retired chamber president and CEO. It's great to see you both and have you join us for a little walk down memory lane as it relates to York County Day. So thank you for being here.
Good to be back in the old office. I noticed there's been some changes and a front end loader has been through here.
It's clean.
Well, we can see the desk. So that's part of the change. There's actually a desk there. Who knew?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Well, thank you both for being here. Rob, this is probably a better question to get started with you, but if you don't mind, remind us a little bit about why York County Day came to be and what its purpose was and maybe how that has changed and evolved over the years.
I hate to give Wayne Wingate any credit, but I've got to at this point because he was really involved early on with York County Day, and it was a small thing how this happened. He and some others had been down to a meeting in Columbia, and they were ready to pull back out on the interstate, and this was, I guess, the late 90s, or late 80s, actually. And they were ready to pull out on the interstate, and it said I-77 north to Charlotte. And they said, there's a lot of great places between Charlotte and Columbia that aren't being mentioned, and one of them is York County and Rock Hill. So these Rock Hill leaders got together and decided to put together an annual meeting, primarily of Rock Hill folks then. The chamber expanded it later. But to get York County on the South Carolina map and make sure we stayed on that map. The other thing that the event became too is once we went countywide was it became a time for everybody in York County to get together and speak from the same page. Now, there were some splintering conversations and issues that would happen, but it had everybody going down for the same reason, which is to say York County has it going on, or York County is red hot, or York County is happening, something about York County. The other thing it did as well, the third thing, is it helped business people, common business people that don't have as much time to learn the governmental or legislative process to understand how that works and how to get involved in that and how to make things happen for their business. So that was the main, I guess, the way it got started from my perspective in this role.
Well, and Mike, I'm sure you can speak to this, but as a small business owner, you wear many hats, right? Your payroll, your HR, your IT, your maintenance, whatever is needed. Oftentimes as a small business owner, that's what you do that day. And lobbying sometimes gets pushed way down that list. So, as a small business owner, York County Day was, I think, the most visible way that we advocated on an annual basis in Columbia. But maybe speak to what that means to you as a member.
Yeah, no doubt. I think back to even the most recent events that have taken place in Columbia, where there was a business license tax reform bill, like even last year, and York County was able to step up and say, we support, this is important to all of our businesses. And that's just one example. There are many. But as a small business owner, I do work in a lot of different municipalities within York County, and every entity was charging us differently and had a different process. And so just something that simple that that bill was able to help all of us as small business owners that work in different municipalities across the state, but also here locally in York County Regional Chamber, and the relationship that we have with our legislators was really important to us supporting that bill, and it benefits me and a lot of small business leaders in the area. So that's one example, but yes, it's absolutely critical that we stay engaged with our legislators.
Well, and as the recovering chair of the Government Relations Task Force, I can tell you that there were many issues that were brought to the group that we decided either the timing wasn't right or we didn't know that our voice was the voice that was needed on certain issues. But I have to say, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and Pennies for Progress is an example of where other counties throughout the state followed our lead and have enacted their own programs similar to Pennies for Progress. York County Day is another example of where they saw the benefit other counties did, and next thing you know, there's a Greenville County Day and a Richland County Day, and I think actually now pretty much every county has a day. And while that's great, for them as well, I do think that the leadership that we've shown on some of those types of programs and the traction and the end result, the great benefit has been something that we can all be very proud of. So Rob, I know you've been involved in a lot of the planning of various York County days. They have been in Columbia for the most part. We've actually had some here in York County as well, but any especially fond memories or famous blunders or anything in between that you can remember from York County days past?
Well, I was really proud that we were adaptable. And when the idea came up, Representative Ray Felder of the Fort Mill area said, why don't we try something a little different next year and have legislators come to York County? And the first response from some were, well, we're not in the mountains, we're not on the coast. Why would people want to come to York County? And we started naming the reasons they might want to come to York County, and there are hundreds of reasons. There's not a big attraction or a big draw. There's Carowinds and some others, but I thought it was for us to take a successful program and make it even better, to adapt and bring people from other parts of the state to York County. Now, we probably didn't hit the numbers we wanted to, but we've got some folks that were probably in York County for the first time. And not only did they see a BMX event and world championship, they also saw Carowinds and the impact that it has, economic impact it has on the area. They also got to see the traffic in that area in Fort Mill and Carowinds area, to see that we needed road funding money. So I guess those are some of my proudest moments. I also know some other success stories that happened at York County Day. Butch Honeycutt tells a wonderful story about having a sidebar conversation with the Department of Transportation director or executive director. And it's really why we have 6 lanes on I-77 going through the Rock Hill, York County area. It's because that conversation was happening today, and it got the ball rolling to have to get funding for their infrastructure needs, particularly roads in and around Carowinds as well. So great things have happened as a result, even though that wasn't the direct objective of York County Day.
Well, I hate Jerry Helms isn't on the call. He started to share a story about him wearing, or someone, I don't know if it was him, let me just be clear, someone wearing a horse's costume and going to Columbia and referencing beating a dead horse, maybe, or not being a horse's something, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe that's an after hours conversation, but I think there has been a lot of fun, but effective fun, right? Like, it brings home the point sometimes to be a little over the top with things. But, Mike, I know you can probably remember this as well, but there were many, many times where we would sit in meetings and we would say, well, why does the coast get this? Why does Charleston get this? Why is Greenville getting this? And I do think York County Day not only gave us, something to be proud of, an event to remember, and a way to network and lobby directly in Columbia, but I think it allowed York County to stop being considered a part of Charlotte and being a part of the conversation in Columbia. And, you really can't have it both ways, right? So I think it has been a really important piece and something that we all look forward to. I do think, as Rob mentioned, things evolving and changing. I do think, now's a good time for that to evolve and change as well. As one local legislator recently mentioned, job well done, right? I mean, it has certainly been a very successful program, but I think there are ways that we can carry it forward and continue to have that meaningful influence at the state and local level. So,
I do think we need to have Jerry on to tell that story, but I know I'm long-winded, but with Jerry, it would have to be an expanded version of a video podcast.
Well, we might run out of Wi-Fi. I don't know. So was that a good enough boomer comment for you, Rob?
Love Jerry.
All right. Well, thank you both for your time.